make your own jewelry but have no idea where to start? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Jewelry Making 101, where I teach you everything you need to know to create stunning accessories. Hi guys, it's JT here and welcome back to another episode. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Trust me, you're going to love it here. And to my OG subscribers, you know I got mad love for you. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. So today on the first episode of Jewelry Making 101, I'll be teaching you guys the basics, the tools and materials that you need to get started. So if you've ever felt stuck when it comes to jewelry making, just sit down and let's dive in. The first tool on the list is the wire cutter, and it is used to cut jewelry wire cleanly without fraying or damaging it. Trust me, regular scissors won't do the job. Next, we have our chain nose pliers. These have a flat inside and a pointed tip, making them great for gripping, bending, and opening jump rings, among so many other things. Along the way, you're going to see the several ways you can use this tool. Another important tool, especially for wire jewelry, is the round nose plier, and this is perfect for creating loops, curves, and wrapped wire designs. If you are making earrings or wire rings, this is a must have. And as you can see, there are different types and there can also be different sizes depending on what you are making, but you can just go with the basic round nose plier. Another important tool in wire jewelry making is the hammer, and it can come in different shapes, different sizes, different materials, and they're mainly used to add texture to your wire jewelry and to also add in wire. The next thing on the list is the ring mandrel, and it is essential to create, resize, or repair rings, and also provides a stable surface to work with when shaping or stretching metal bands. Still on rings, we also have the ring sizer, and it is a tool used to determine the correct ring size for a person's finger. It can come in different forms. It can be a thin measuring tape, it can be a key ring with loops representing different sizes, or a device that wraps around the finger. Here I have the key ring type. Now that we have our tools, let's talk about materials. You do not need a huge stash to get started. You just need a few basics that will work for multiple designs. When talking about materials in beaded jewelry making, beads are a very important aspect of it. And our beads can come in different shapes and different styles, like glass crystals, acrylic beads, pearls, gemstones, you name it. So you have to choose the beads that you want based on your style, your design, and your creativity. Once you have your beads, you will need your beading wire or stretch cords to put them together and create your stunning piece. And they are all very useful in making bracelets, necklaces, anklets, to make a few. Beading wire comes in different materials, different shapes, different sizes, depending on what you're trying to create. You can have as tiny as 0.2 millimeter up to as large as 1.2 millimeters. And the size of your beading wire depends on a number of factors, like the size of the beads, the weight of the beads, the size of the bead hole, and the design you're trying to make. Also, the choice of your beading wire also depends on the piece you are trying to create. You also this is what we have here is a monofilament wire, or the fishing line, or nylon wire. You can also have silk cords and other type of cords depending on what you're trying to make. Silk cords are usually used to make pearls, and the monofilament wires are very good when you're creating like beaded bags and some necklaces. The elastic cords are different from the beading wires because of their elasticity, and they're majorly used to create bracelets, and they also come in different sizes. Another form of beading wire is the memory wire. These are usually made of stainless steel, and they're usually very tough, so you would not use your regular cutter for them. You have to use your memory wire cutter. These are special type of cutters used to cut memory wires, and they are usually very good for making bracelets. Also, you can use them to make rings, that's for those that are very small, and you can also use them to make necklaces for the larger types. And this form of beading wire allows you to be very creative, very extensive with your creation, and it is one of my favorite beading wires to work with. The next important material that lay a foundation for most wire-based jewelry are the jewelry wires, and they usually come in different sizes, different types of materials, and even different shapes. You can have a D-shaped wire, round wire, and square wire, and they can come in different materials, like I said, either sterling silver, copper wire, gold field, to name a few. And these wires are used to make a lot, and I mean a lot of things. The things you can make with wires are limitless, and they allow you to be very creative, especially when you go into wire wrapping. So you can make rings, bracelets, jewelries, earrings, anklets, just to name a few things. You can either use them alone or you use them with beads to make magnificent, beautiful, gorgeous designs. To finish many pieces, we need jewelry findings, and there are several types of jewelry findings. You can have your chains, which can be used to add an extra element to what you are creating. We also have our clasp. They are used to fasten necklaces, bracelets, anklets together, and they are usually available in different designs. We have this sort of ones that you use to make multiple layers. We have our trigger lobster clasp, which are usually just for single designs most of the time. You can also make your clasp with wires. As you can see on this bracelet, I made this clasp, this hook, using 20 gauge wire, and I make different types of clasps with wires, especially when I don't have one at hand. We also have the earring findings like this one, which is the earring stud with loops, and the loops are good for attaching beads, chains, etc. We also have this earring finding that is made with a ear clip design that clips to the back of the ear. You can also have your earring hooks. You can have flat pads. You can have so many different types of earring findings, and you will choose one depending on your design, depending on what you're trying to make, the beads you're working with, the end result, to be honest. We also have the pendant bail, which is often used to connect pendants to necklaces, chain, or other jewelry elements. We have the head pins, and they are used to create dangling earrings and charms, and they hold beads in place while keeping a neat structure. We also have the metal beads. They are also just add like the finishing touches to your jewelry design. Before we wrap up, let's talk about a few mistakes that beginners make when starting out and the things you can do to avoid them. The first mistake we'll be talking about is picking and using the wrong beading wire and beading wire and jewelry wire. Now, you might be wondering, I cannot make such mistake, but trust me, you will. I did when I started out. So before you pick your jewelry wire or your beading wire, you have to consider a number of things. The first thing you should consider is the bead you're working with. So now, what is the weight of the bead? What is the size of the bead? And what is the size of the hole of the bead? And you ask me, Why is this important? Because if you pick like um thick beading wires for small, lightweight beads, they might make your work very stiff and rigid, and it won't make it look very nice. And vice versa, if you decide to pick a very thin beading wire for a very large, heavy, heavy bead, it can result in your project breaking and so many other things. So it is very important for you to choose the correct and right beading wire before you start. Another factor you should also consider is what you're trying to design. What you're designing, or what you're trying to create rather, would also determine the beading wire that you're going to choose. Now, the next mistake that people make rather is not using the right pliers. And you might say, hmm, how is that possible? Yeah, let's take an example. If you're trying to straighten your wire and you decide to use a metal plier and not a nylon based plier, you're going to leave a lot of marks and scratches on your wire. So this is just one of the few ways you can make mistakes when by picking the wrong pliers. Another thing is keeping measurements. It's very important to take measurements, especially of your beading wire or jewelry wire. That is because, for example, if you're trying to make like an elastic bracelet, and let's say the size of the bracelet you're trying to make is about 10 inches, and you pick your elastic wire and decide to just cut it anywhere, it's very possible you might cut less than 10 inches, leaving you no room to actually finish your project by tying and so on and so forth. So these are few common mistakes that people actually make when they're starting out in jewelry making. And if you think there's something I've missed as a professional, please let me know in the comments so that people can learn from it. And that's it, guys, your essential toolkit for jewelry making. Now that you have your tools and materials ready, get excited because in the next episode, I'll be teaching you how to make your first pair of simple and elegant earrings. And trust me, it is beautiful, it is simple to make, and it is beginner friendly. Now, you might be wondering what materials you would need. For your tools, you would need a round nose plier, 1 or 2 chain of flat nose pliers, and a cutter. Then for your materials, you need a chain of any size, something lightweight, something not too big. You would also need some beads, about 4 beads in total, just 4 beads. And this can be any shape, any size, depending on what you want to design. Just let your imagination go crazy. You also need your earring findings. It can be your hook, it can be your clip earring finding, anything that works, that is fine. And you also get either your jump rings, pre-cut jump rings, or a 20 gauge wire. And that is everything that you need for our next video. So see you guys in the next video. And if you are yet to subscribe, please do not forget to click the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn the notifications on so you know when I upload the next episode. And please don't forget to like, comment, share with your loved ones and everybody that you know will benefit from this video. So guys, till next time, don't forget to stay creative. Bye.